Shalom Israel first. I want to all praise and glory honor to Yahweh by Shemi Al-Shah by Shem Kakadash. Don't want to see Apostle Oscar Millstone. Peace citation to the one-third of Israel. And for this lesson, it's going to be a quick video. I was looking at articles and I seen this one. It says Wyoming sheriff blows whistle on massive UFO sightings. Government and media covering up the truth. And it's like 2 days ago. But it says, according to a Wyoming sheriff's office, a huge number of UFOs continue to gather at high altitudes above the Red Desert and the Jim Bridger power plant in Sweetwater County. Sheriff John Grossnickel of Sweetwater County personally witnessed the UFOs. According to his spokesperson, Jason Mower, who informed the Cowboy State Daily of information, Mower noted that this represents 13 months of illuminated objects resembling drones assembling in groups, frequently appearing in organized patterns above the Red Desert and the power plant. He further mentioned that their extreme altitude makes them impossible to target or bring down from ground level. It says, "We've worked with everybody," said Moore to the Cowboy State Daily. "We've done everything we can do to figure out what they are, and nobody wants to give us any answers." And, the answers are already there, so it's the prophets. Prophets are telling you the answers, and the chariots of the Lord. It says, according to Mower, the sheriff accompanied Wyoming U.S. House Rep Harry Hagman to view the aerial objects, and she personally witnessed them. Skip down. Alright, I'm just getting down to this part right here. It says, it's like this phenomenon that continues to happen, but it's not causing any, issues that we have to deal with other than the presence of them, Moore said while speaking with the Cowboy State Daily. So Moore stated that the objects ever present an immediate threat, rest assured, will certainly act accordingly. Okay. Says Mower indicated that for the time being, in the absence of any explanations or prospects for obtaining them, the sheriff's department is concentrating on routine public safety threats and criminal matters that they can effectively handle. All right, so that's it. But basically, these devils are scared. All right, and they said we'll act accordingly. Well, okay. One scripture that comes to mind is 2 Ezra 13 chapter. Because they gonna come down, they gonna wreak havoc. All right, now this is Wyoming. This, in a little area, I'm assuming. I'm pretty sure it plays a significant role. A power plant in Wyoming. Who knows what Esau got out there. But I'm gonna read 2 Ezra 13 and 1. It says, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him." All right, and this is speaking about Yahweh returning. And the thousands of heaven, that's talking about the multitude of chariots that are coming back with Yahweh to wreak havoc on Babylon. All right. It says, and precept is Revelation 1 and 7. It says, "Behold, he cometh with many clouds." It says, "And whatsoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they that burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it faileth the fire." All right, and that voice, that's talking about the laser beam, shooting out the chariot. It says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." All right, and this is speaking about when Yahweh returns, and you're going to have these armies from all these different nations that are going to fight against the Lord. It says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it." All right, and that's that giant chariot that the Lord is coming back in. It says, "But I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, and I could not." And this goes to show you that it goes to show you how big the chariot the Lord is coming back on. All right, because Revelation I think it's Revelation 1 and 7 again. It says, "Behold, every eye shall see him." All right, even those which pierced him. All right, but it says, so this is gonna be the greatest event in history. All right, the coming of the day of the Lord. the day of the Lord that the prophets spoke about and are speaking about. You know, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yes, durst fight. All right, so these devils know what the technology of the Lord. Well, I'm not gonna say they know. They've seen what the Lord can do. You know, the chariots of the Lord can do. All right, and that's just an inkling. All right, because what does Scripture say? We have seen but a few of His works. So this is what the Lord has revealed unto you. You know, you devils that you know the chariots, because they know what it is. They just act dumb, and they can't blatantly come out and say, yeah, those are the angels of the Lord, because if they do, it's gonna bring more light to the prophets, and this truth is gonna be more. It's gonna gain more popularity, But their job is to, shut this truth down, So they gotta move with caution. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. He said, but only I saw that he sent out his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. All right, and that's the laser beam. All right. It says, it says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. All right, so the Lord literally obliterated, these heathens, and even Jake that came to fight against the Lord. Because you got Jake in the army, they're gonna basically meet their maker. They're gonna meet Yahushua, all right, but not in the way that we, Lord willing, we gonna meet him. Lord willing, we gonna meet him in the air. All right, spoken about in 1 Corinthians 15 chapter. But they gonna see a laser beam coming out the chariot right for him. All right, but I said I'm gonna make this quick. I'm on break, so let's go to Zechariah. Zechariah 5. All right, Zechariah 5:1, it says, then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, and I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. And he said unto me, and that's the so-called UFO, by the way. It says, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goes forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that swears shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. All right, and that's this. The chariots are cursed to these heathens. All right, because the chariots are not coming back for the heathens. All right, and it's also a curse for 2/3 of Jake. Because chariots ain't coming back to bring deliverance to 2/3 of Israel. Chariots are coming back to wreak havoc and also bring deliverance to the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, and that's why in Jeremiah 10:2, let's get that right quick. Jeremiah 10:2, it says, don't be dismayed. All right, Jeremiah 10:2, it says, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. All right, and signs of heaven, you got chariots, you got this 3-eye atlas thing that's going, man, and videos are showing it's in a wheel. It looks like what Ezekiel described, a wheel inside of a wheel. All right, so if that don't tell you, what the chariots are, and so like I kind of just lost my train of thought. I'm looking at some niggas don't know how to work it. Niggas don't know how a stop sign works. But if that don't tell you, if that don't show the validity of the scriptures, I don't know what it does. All right, but it's only for the elect. The elect are gonna take heed and understand ultimately. But Salakia, it was kind of rambling. But so we're not to be dismayed. We're not to be worried or afraid of the signs of heaven. Looking at the chariots, we get excited because we know that's our deliverance. as bros say, we came here on slave ships and we're gonna leave on spaceships. All right, so this is for our deliverance. All right, Lord willing, we part of the elect. All right, so Esau, he's nervous. All right, best believe that. But let me go back to the fourth verse real quick. It says, Zechariah 5:4, it says, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Where's that at? Babylon. It says, into the house of him that swore falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. And the chariots are going to take part in destroying this place. We read in 2 Ezra 13 chapter about the breath of fire. The chariots have capabilities, the technology to shoot lasers. All right, bring destruction. All right, I believe it says in the book of Samuel that one angel can destroy the whole earth. All right, so how much more thousands of chariots. All right, and as well as Yahweh shot. So Esau, there's no hope for you. All right, and you're screwed ultimately. So I won't make this too long. I gotta get back to the plantation. But hopefully this is well said and edifying. Just a quick video through the spirit. With that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Outside, by Hashem Kakadash. Next time, shalom.